Is NotJah? Who is NotJah? Who is NotJah? Who is NotJah? He could be Jesus, he could be a Rasta, could be a ghost, he could be a gangster. In video games, he could be a master. If he was real, he would be a rock star. Who is NotJah? Who is NotJah?
Nobody knows. Is NotJah Witness.
Who is NotJah? Who is NotJah?
So why don't you go and mind your business?
I believe in Jah. I believe in Jah.
Come on everybody, pray to NotJah.
NotJah? Who is NotJah?
NotJah, NotJah, who the fuck is NotJah?
And that's why I don't like cricket.
Hi, we're Atheist Edge.
And you're watching NotJah Witness.
Hey up Sofa Squad, and welcome back to Black Sofa, and welcome to part 2 of this trilogy of videos responding to Off The Kirb Ministiries. And boy, have we got a doozy for you this time. And this time I'm accompanied by the one and only NotJah Witness.
Hello.
So, let's get stuck in, shall we? Now, Kirby, I know we've had our differences, but calm down. Stay away from that tape.
This piece of sellotape represents your sexual intimacy with another human being.
Hey, I'm a 2D avatar with a 2D penis. I resemble that remark.
Okay, I think I know where you're going with this. Okay, carry on.
If I stick the piece of tape on my arm like this and I leave it alone, it will stay there forever. If you like, it's become one flesh, it's bound, it's stuck there, it's not going anywhere. But watch what happens when I do this. Okay, I stick it on another arm. Right, okay, it's stuck down and yeah, it will last for a good amount of time, but not as strong as it was before. So what happens if I do it again? And again? And again? What's going to happen by the 6th, 7th, 8th time? Eventually
You will have 2 big patches on your arms without any hair, you big manly man, you.
this piece of tape will not be able to stick to anything at all.
Because I'm stuck on you.
And my dear friends, that is what it is like when you and I give our bodies to other people.
Oh, I knew you were taking it there. I hate this purity culture crap.
You see, we were designed to be bound with one flesh, with one person for life.
Says who? Wait, let me guess.
And the more people we keep going with, the more people we keep giving a piece of our love to, the harder it is to have a lasting relationship. Perhaps there's someone watching this now and you feel like this piece of tape, you know, you've made a mess. You've been from person to person to person.
That doesn't sound like you went around giving people herpes or something at all, dude. No.
Is there any hope for you? Well, actually, yes, there is hope.
Yeah, see your local doctor and get it sorted. Oh, you're not talking about the herpes, are you? Ugh. Sorry, go on.
You see, Jesus Christ can come along and he can be the glue.
Gotta love the Jesus glue.
Because of the cross, because he died for sinners, he can be the glue which binds you to another person.
No, don't do that, Kirb. It's gonna hurt like hell when you tear it off.
your husband or your wife, and he can join you there forever, because what God has joined together, let no man separate.
I have a problem with that, Kirb, but I'll come back to that later.
So if you put your trust in the Lord Jesus Christ, he can clothe you in his righteousness. Though you're naked, though you're ashamed, though you feel dirty, he can cover you with his garments. And did you know this? His cloak of righteousness is a one size which fits all.
I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere. What do you think, NotJah?
There is a joke in there somewhere, but it's a really small one. You might need a magnifier to see it. Scratch that, a microscope. I mean, as for jokes go, this one is an astonishingly small penis.
In a moment's time, I'm going to share with you my biggest regret that I've ever made in life.
Biggest regret that you made in life? What could that be, NotJah?
I'd say falling into an abusive relationship with his imaginary friend.
And I'll be honest with you, I am quite scared what some of you are going to think of me once I open up about this. But if it means that just one person watches this video, learns from my mistake...
Oh, I know what he regrets now. Making this video. I learned that from watching this video.
It'll be worth all of the embarrassment and shame. But before I do that, could I just read to you a verse?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Which very sadly I ignored, and I knew about it as a young man. It's from Song of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 4, and it says, I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, do not stir up nor awaken love until it pleases.
Okay, that verse from Song of Solomon's has been taken out of context. The Song of Songs is a song, Kirb. It's poetry. It's not supposed to be applied to everyone's situation, especially not in the 21st century. That is not how the writer of the song intended it, and it's not how the original listeners of the song would have understood it. It's poetry. It's a love song, not law. And even if it is taken to be law, I thought Christians were not under law, but under grace.
So in other words, there's a precious love which lives within your heart, and it's asleep right now. If you're a virgin...
Just me, NotJah, or is there something really creepy about the way he says virgin?
Fucking A, mate. That love might be asleep, but his hormones sure aren't.
That love is asleep right now. And one day, the Bible says, there is a time to wake it up, but only when you look straight into the eyes of your husband, only the day when you look straight into the eyes of your wife. So I did promise you that I would share something quite personal with you right now.
Ooh, he's gonna share something personal. This is gonna be it. His big regret. I'm so excited. What could it be? Is he gay? Did he cheat on his boyfriend? He is pregnant. But wait. No. Maybe his boyfriend is pregnant and it's not even his. Ooh, the plot thickens.
So here we go. This morning I looked at my wife Emma and I said to her, I'm not sure I can make this video today.
Ha! I was right. He does regret this video.
Oh, shut up, NotJah. Let him finish.
Yeah, I bet he finished.
I've been watching these videos of other Christian YouTubers and they've covered this particular topic, but every single one of them protected their virginity. Every single one of them didn't lose it before marriage. And so I just feel like a hypocrite. What can I tell the people about this message?
Technically more than those you just referenced, because at least you have an experience where they had none. But outside of that backwards group of folk, nothing. Sit down, shut up, and learn from those who have had a lifetime of experience.
But Emma said no. Remember David and Bathsheba, remember others who've messed up. You do need to make this video today. So here we are. I'm Gonna tell you what happened to me. When I was growing up, I really did struggle as a young man, socially, and I was quite awkward and shy, particularly around girls.
Oh my god, Sofa, hold the fucking presses. Shut down Twitch and cancel fucking Facebook. As a young man, he felt awkward and shy, especially around girls. Fancy that, mate. Have you ever heard of such a thing happening to any other person before, Sofa?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean, NotJah.
And all of my friends, they got girlfriends when they were 15, 16 years old. And I was good at sports, so I hung around with them. But I never could, for some reason, get a girlfriend. I'd go on dates with a girl and then she'd end it. I remember once at high school I kissed a girl on a date, and I walked out into the yard the next morning and this big group of people were just standing around laughing at how bad I was at kissing. So really, basically I was a loser growing up. And over the years I really tried to build up confidence, because this feeling of wanting to be normal, this feeling of wanting to be loved and accepted, it never left me.
Building confidence is something everyone struggles with, and nobody feels normal. To me, this dude looks perfectly normal. But what I see as normal is from my perspective. To me, an Aussie accent is normal. To you, it's likely foreign. Looking to be any ideal of normal is a bit absurd. If anything, if you want such a goal, try and just be healthy, in medical terms.
So then when I went to university...
Wait. You went to university? Do you want to clarify your definition of university there? Maybe the name of the school, what you were studying, did you actually achieve any qualifications at the end there, or... Wait, why am I even asking?
I met someone, and she was very beautiful, and I fell in love, and we did what most couples do in this 21st century.
Ooh, he did it so far. He had the sex with a lady. I hope you wore a condom.
High five.
But I remember that night when I lost my virginity. I went into the kitchen, and I can remember this like it was yesterday. I fell down onto my knees, and I just cried and cried, Lord, what have I done?
Oh, mate, I really feel bad for you. You must have felt so much guilt and so much shame. But I can't help but feel that a lot of that came from having it drummed into you from an early age how sinful it is to have sex outside of marriage. But you just said that you were in love with her. There's nothing wrong with two consenting adults who are in love with each other, enjoying intimacy together. But your religion, or rather the religion of your parents, turned it into something sinful, something dirty, something to make you feel ashamed and guilty. Let me guess, you probably broke it off with her shortly after that, didn't you, as part of your repentance, because you felt the Holy Spirit prompting you to do so, or some similar bullshit. I'm right, aren't I?
It is an immensely emotional roller coaster to live a life being taught natural sex is immoral, to suppress these healthy desires and needs for so long under a belief that you would be severely punished by an all-powerful being for acting on them in any way, and then finally, as nature intended, you give in. This is some serious damage religious thinking causes people, demonstrable right here.
And all I can say is this goal, this dream that I was chasing after, like I wanted this more than money or success. I wanted to lose my virginity to the right person.
But mate, who is the right person? Real life ain't the movies, kid.
And to be in a relationship like everyone else. And once I got it, I felt totally empty, totally broken.
Well, yeah, man, you went chasing the wrong thing and found it disappointing. You weren't after a relationship, you just said you were after sex. then you got the sex, and then you still were disappointed. No wonder it didn't work out between you and her. If you're actually after a good relationship, something founded on a strong beginning, maybe don't go out with the sole intention of getting laid. Or if that is it, then go get laid with someone that wants a quick bit of fun and then move on. Don't bitch about it not having ended up like some whirlwind romance. It's like going to a movie called Volcano and then being bummed that there was no asteroids in it. Fucking hell, mate.
And it was actually the biggest mistake I ever made.
And yet somehow you learned only every single wrong lesson from it. Well done, mate.
In my whole entire life. I was brought up a Christian. Mum and Dad taught me the Bible, and I knew what was right. I knew that verse that we read before, but I didn't obey it.
You didn't have to obey it, Kirb. That's the point. It's ironic that a better understanding of how to correctly interpret the Bible could have prevented you from feeling like you messed up so badly, could have prevented you from feeling so dirty and so ashamed.
You know, we often hear stories of Christian women saying they wish they waited until they got married. Well, here you are. Here's a Christian man, a red-blooded man.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
Looking you in the eyes and saying, I wish I waited. I wish I didn't disobey God.
Okay, so the God bullshit aside, let's say you wait another year, 10 years. Then what? You're then still in the same boat. You would still have no clue how to fuck and please your partner. You aren't suddenly going to get this wisdom from God of how to do it. And then when you finally do, you're inevitably gonna have a bad time. It's like trying to drill for oil for the first time without looking into how any of it works. So you go at it with a fucking hand drill and wonder why it's not working, and then ditch it in a lawsuit where you lose everything because you didn't have the slight bloody clue what you were fucking doing. I mean, I lost that analogy halfway there somewhere, but you get me.
My dear brothers, my dear sisters.
Threw up in my mouth a little bit.
If you're listening to this right now and you still have that precious gift of virginity, I plead with you, I beg you this very day, guard it with your very life, because one day you're going to make your spouse very happy when you look them in the eyes on your wedding night and you say, only you, I've only ever loved you, I've only ever been with you.
Alright, firstly, okay, now that I have that out of my system. And then you fuck and both find out that you have no idea what you're doing, suck at it, grow to resent each other because you married them and end up divorcing after pushing out a couple of kids. Not only a financial and emotional burden on you, but an absolute living hell for the poor kids you selfishly brought into the world.
But perhaps now you're watching this video and you're like me and you've made a mess.
Yeah, first time I had sex, we sure made a mess. After we made all sorts of mistakes. But that was because it was our first time. We were young, and a quality sex ed is essential, but only so much can be learned from theory. That being if you even get decent sex ed in your area. But with practice you get better at these things, and honestly, sometimes you really get along with someone to the point of love, but in the bed, turns out you just don't jive. Sometimes both can be good, but over time, you just get a bit over each other and need something different. It can be painful, but it is natural. And if you're more open-minded, there are perfectly healthy ways of maintaining a solid sexual relationship while occasionally enjoying the companionship of other partners. Many ways indeed.
Well, I just want to remind you, the blood of Christ cleanses us from all sin. And though we've made a mess, there is a God who dwells in the heavens above, who can restore to you the years which the locusts have eaten. So today, this very day, if you are living in sexual sin, chase after purity today. It's never too late to seek to be pure. Whatever you do, don't think, I've done it once, I've done it twice.
You didn't say you did it again. Don't try and highball your sex count now, mate. Oh, that was meant to be a bad thing? No. Haven't you learned a thing, man? The more sex, the more experience. The more experience, the better you get. Jesus, man, it's like you have some form of glue holding you to this weird purity idea. Like an unnatural affair with an imaginary friend that you feel the need to force into your sex life just so that you're able to get off. Jesus goo is powerful stuff.
So what's the good now? No, it's still important today. God sees your heart, and as I said earlier, God can join you together with a husband or wife.
Really? But what if that never happens? What if you're waiting 10 years, 20 years for God to provide you with a husband or wife? What then? Marriage isn't for everyone, Kirby. Let me tell you the story I alluded to earlier. 15 years ago, I met the girl of my dreams. We were both Christians at the time, and we honestly believed that God had brought us together. Everyone kept telling us that God had brought us together, that we were meant to be together, that it was God's will for us to marry. Now, I don't regret marrying her. I really loved her, and I have 2 lovely children with her. But unfortunately, I am autistic and have always struggled with relationships and have always struggled to read facial expressions and body language. I find it almost impossible to tell when someone is dropping a hint or if they are joking. And this put a strain on our marriage. On top of that, in 2013, I had a nervous breakdown and suffered badly from depression and anxiety as a result. I was suicidal. And this put an even greater strain on my marriage. I begged God to heal me. I paced up and down, praying in tongues. I prayed on my knees, weeping and begging God to heal me and save my marriage. But nothing happened. Instead, we grew further and further apart, and we eventually divorced. I hated God. I thought God was supposed to keep us together. I thought he hated divorce. But he did nothing. And eventually, I lost my faith altogether because I realized that God doesn't exist. How do you explain that, Kirby? I'd love to hear your answer.
Yes, and it seems, statistically speaking, that a vast amount of those matrimonies by God tend to end up being broken up by another person. The person working the government department dealing with divorces in your country.
You could be onto something, NotJah. This map of the United States shows the Bible Belt states in dark green, and this map shows the divorce rates, the states with the highest divorce rates, in orange. There's a link to the relevant websites in the description.
And they will forgive. The grace of God is a beautiful thing. And I know I said before that I regret doing it, and I do. But in some ways, I'm glad these things have happened to me.
Well, yeah, dude, you got laid for the first time. Good or bad, you enjoyed it because it was novel. Do it again a few more times. Just gets better, and you should only get better at it.
Because they keep you humble. You remember where your feet have been.
Jesus, dude. I'm not going to kink shame, but I think you meant to use your penis.
You remember just what a scumbag you are.
The only scumbag in this story is you, mate. Ditching a girl because you didn't fall in love with her after you had sex with her. Because you were only out to get laid in the first place. You aren't the most extreme example, but you still are part of what gives guys a bad name.
And how only by the grace of God, only by Jesus' death and resurrection can I ever get to heaven.
And then it's all just for the grace of God. Fucking hell, what a cunt.
Because left to my own devices, I'm just a sinner who is rebellious and wicked at heart.
Because of fucking course. Men can't be responsible for their own actions or anything. He's just a wicked sinner at heart. Seriously, don't let your kids get anywhere near this person.
I think I'm going to make a few more videos on Christian dating and Christian marriage, but I've already got some here, so check them out if you've not done already, and let me know in the comment box if you would like more videos on relationship advice.
Yeah, nope, I don't need any more of his advice.
Nah, I could do without his advice as well. I don't think I'll be asking him for any advice anytime soon. And he goes on to plug his channel, so I'm going to cut him off there. And this brings us to the end of this video. And it's been a real pleasure to work with you, NotJah. Yeah, thank you very much for assisting me in this video. So why don't you tell the viewers at home where they can find you?
You can pretty much find me everywhere at NotJah Witness. Thanks for this sofa, it's been a lot of fun. Bye.
And it's goodbye from me. If you've liked this video and you'd like to see more, then give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, do subscribe. And make sure you subscribe to NotJah Witness also. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you never miss another video. Okay. Bye for now.
Have you ever imagined sleeping with your own upside-down nacho? Do you wish you could grab a long-haired Australian and drink alcohol from their body? Maybe you're more interested in sitting on your imaginary underworld apostate's face, or just stomp me to the curb for writing such horrendous lines. Nachos go great with beer. Now you can and more with these fantastic overpriced items from the great range on sale in Nacho's Underworld Market. Your nachos are always best with beer. Pick up your very own upside-down pillow, throw an apostate on your stretch pants, or slap on some yowie socks and just walk all over me. Your nachos always go best with beer. So grab Australian mug, wrap your lips around it and suck dry those glorious liquids. Everything in stock is limited because I get bored and change it up all the time, so get yours now. As always, ensure to thoroughly beer your nacho. Go to teesprings.com/store/nachos Underworld Market to grab your very own nacho now.
I believe in Jah, I believe in Jah.
Come on everybody, right?